Next phase in the funnel is the acquisition phase. In the acquisition phase, we're trying to capture the details of our leads. We want to get their email addresses, phone numbers, or whatever kind of information that we can have. I brought another case. This is a case of a company that creates hardware and software to measure how people are walking past the stores, how they're behaving in the store, and so on. They contacted us during COVID because, of course, if they're selling to stores, all the stores were closed, so it was not that easy to generate leads. They asked us to make something to generate leads in a softer way, but that they would have the possibility to pre-qualify them to know which leads that they should follow up first. And what we did for them is that we created a tool. We created a tool where they could create a poster to inform their visitors about the measurements or the measures that were present at that time. So this was a tool where we created something, and then their visitors could create that poster, they could print it, hang it on their wall, and then inform their customers. So this was very interesting because we did this at a point where the government just announced that people were going to be able to reopen their stores, but they need to have these clear posters. So we had this idea on Friday, we made it over the weekend, and we launched it on Monday. Very simple landing page where on top they can fill in all their information to generate the poster, then a bit reasons why they should generate the poster, then some social proof, and then a bit about who we are. We then drove traffic towards this landing page through Facebook ads, LinkedIn ads, cold email, LinkedIn messages. We then captured a lot of information of these people, like their company name, contact information, how much people that were allowed in the store, and then we captured more than 400 leads. But then the nice thing is that the salespeople could follow up with the leads that are generated here. Instead of just calling them out cold and that they have never heard from us, they now could call them and said, hey, I just wanted to check in. Did you receive the poster? All right. How is it going with the reopening of the store? Okay, good. They already have an idea how you're going to measure the traffic. You have no idea. Actually, that's something that we could help you with. So this is a very cool way to generate these leads in a softer way and then follow up with them to get extra additional meetings. Another tactic that I really love using is to organize webinars. And a tactic that's even more successful than just traditional webinars is co-webinars. In a co-webinar, you're doing a webinar together with another influencer or another company that's trying to aim the exact same target audience as you. Very important that this webinar is 100% educational. You don't want to be that guy or girl that is just constantly trying to sell stuff, giving a demo of their tool. No, you want to give them value. The goal of this is that they trust you, that they see you as an expert, that they trust what you're saying, and then at the end of the webinar, you will start introducing your offer. You will give them a call to action, like saying, look, for the first 10 people that leave their information, they will get a free demo with additional credits to try out this software. Or I will give them this extra, or I will come by and give you an assessment of your current situation, whatever that it could be. So use the last 3 minutes to introduce your offer and make sure that there is something that they can convert to. Also, demo flows, very cool. This is for a company that we did ads for. What we did here is that we analyzed that they sold trucks based on demos so that you will never make a Facebook ad to immediately sell a truck. But what we realized is that 1 out of 10 demos that were scheduled, 1 out of 10 test drives would convert into a purchase of a truck. So our goal was to set up this flow to generate these demos or generate these test drives to then make sure that they would sell these different trucks. So this was very, very easy that we built it with just existing tools. We used Calendly to schedule this, and it drove a lot of extra demos and then a lot of extra conversions. One of my favorites is to create lead magnets where you give a bit of value in exchange for an email address. This is one of my lead magnets about LinkedIn social selling. People could leave their first name, last name, and email address, and they got my ebook. Of course, I then nurture them towards a moment that I get a meeting with them and I can convert them into becoming a customer. But give first, give value first. Another one that I really like doing was this little quiz. We did a quiz for a company that sells workshops, just workshops to end consumers. And what we did there is we came up with a very cool quiz. This quiz was right around the time that the Friends reunion was airing, Friends is the TV show. And what we did there is that in that quiz, people could try to see which kind of character they are. and they filled in a lot of information, things they like, things they don't like. And then based on those results, we would tell them, hey, you're such a Monica. We're organizing this workshop, bullet journaling, and this is definitely something for you. So very interesting to then immediately push information, push workshops that they could do. We captured their email address, and we could then, of course, in the future also follow up. Because the beauty of this is that you're not only capturing an email address, you're also capturing interest and other info. So if in the future we have workshops that would fit the criteria, the interests of this person signing up, we could send them other kind of emails. You could even go one step further. If you do this kind of quizzes, you know what they like, what kind of person they are, and you could even change your communication style based on the information you gathered. Just to show how valuable data is, what all you can do with data. Here you can see we had a budget of 659 euros. We generated more than 4,000 leads. And already during the campaign, immediately after clicking through to this quiz, we already saw an increase of more than 200% on their website, on people trying to see the webinar, trying to see the workshop and trying to buy these webinars. So very, very cool effect on this quiz. Another way you can do this is not on a separate website or a separate tool, but that you build a quiz in a chatbot. This is an example that I did for CreamyBox. They're a company that sells unsolved murder cases. So what we did here is that we had the assumption if you want to play a game to solve a murder mystery, you're also interested to know in which kind of detective you are. So this was prior to their launch on Kickstarter, and then you could do this quiz, and then at the end we would tell you, hey, you're a Detective Pikachu. But at the end of the quiz, we then told them, hey, Detective Pikachu, we really need your help. We're soon launching a new murder mystery on Kickstarter, and we need you to help solve this. Can we keep you up to date the moment we launch? And I think over 90% said, yeah, sure, you can keep me up to date. And the moment we launched, we sent a message to all these people on Messenger with a huge, huge open rate, and it drove a lot of traffic towards our website, the Kickstarter website. Of course, we also captured their email address on that point, so we could also send them emails. So be clever in how can you give value, how can you do super cool stuff to get information, and then eventually try to push them to the next phase. This was acquisition. In the next session, we're going to talk about the activation phase.